At first glance, reptiles and amphibians might look like cousins. After all, they both slither, hop and crawl across the earth with scaly or slick skin. But don't be fooled, these two animal groups are separated by millions of years of evolution and a whole list of key differences. From where they live and how they breathe to the way they reproduce, reptiles and amphibians play very different roles in the natural world. So, if you've ever wondered what truly separates a frog from a lizard, you're in the right place. Let's break down the biggest differences between amphibians versus reptiles. 10. Where they begin life. The biggest contrast starts with the very first stage of life, birth. Amphibians lay their eggs in water, soft, jelly-like masses that hatch into larvae, such as tadpoles. These larvae go through metamorphosis to become adults. Reptiles, on the other hand, lay leathery or hard-shelled eggs on land, and the baby reptiles emerge as miniature versions of the adults. No transformation required. That means if you're watching a frog's life unfold, you're watching a complete shape-shifting act, while a baby snake simply slithers into the world ready to go. 9. Skin texture and purpose. Take a close look at their skin and you'll notice a huge difference. Amphibians have moist, smooth and often slimy skin. This isn't just for looks, their skin actually helps them breathe and absorb water. That's why they need to stay damp. Reptiles, however, are built for dry environments. They're covered in tough, scaly skin that protects them from dehydration and the elements. It's why you'll find frogs near ponds and lizards basking on hot rocks. Their skin literally tells the story of where they belong. Number 8. Breathing mechanisms. Breathing is another key separator. Most amphibians start life with gills, perfect for underwater breathing, and later develop lungs. But even as adults, many can still absorb oxygen through their skin, especially when wet. Reptiles, meanwhile, rely strictly on lungs from the very beginning of life to the end. No skin-breathing superpowers here. So while a salamander can absorb oxygen through its body in a humid cave, a tortoise is all lungs all the time. 7. Metamorphosis versus direct development. Amphibians have one of the most dramatic life journeys in the animal kingdom. From water-bound larvae to air-breathing adults, the transformation is nothing short of magical. This is called metamorphosis. Reptiles don't experience anything like it. When a baby crocodile hatches, it's already a mini croc with the same habits and features as its parents. So if you're fascinated by life stages and dramatic biological change, amphibians are where the action is. 6. Temperature regulation. Both reptiles and amphibians are cold-blooded, meaning they rely on external sources of heat to regulate their body temperature. But reptiles tend to be more efficient thermoregulators. They're often found basking in the sun or seeking shade, constantly adjusting. Amphibians don't have as much control and are more limited to mild or moist environments to keep their body temperatures stable. That's why you'll rarely find a frog sunbathing in the desert. But snakes? They're practically solar-powered. 5. Habitat preferences. While some overlap exists, amphibians are tied to water much more tightly than reptiles. Frogs, newts and salamanders need moist environments to survive, and many return to water to breed. Reptiles are more flexible. From deserts and forests to swamps and even the sea, they've adapted to thrive in dry, wet and everything in between. So while both might live near a pond, only amphibians need that water to breathe, breed and survive. 4. Defense and camouflage. Reptiles often use scales and tough skin as a built-in suit of armor, and many can bite, hiss or use venom for defense. Amphibians have a different playbook. Their skin may secrete toxins or bright warning colors, like in poison dart frogs, but they're generally more reliant on camouflage and fleeing to escape danger. While a lizard might puff up to look bigger, a toad is more likely to blend into the leaves and wait for trouble to pass. Number 3. Hearing and vision. Both groups sense the world differently. Amphibians, like frogs, often have excellent night vision and rely heavily on vibrations and water movement to understand their surroundings. Reptiles, particularly snakes, use highly sensitive tongues and Jacobson's organs to taste the air. Some reptiles, like chameleons, have near 360-degree vision. So while both are perceptive, reptiles often rely more on vision and smell, while amphibians use a blend of sight, sound, and even skin sensitivity. 2. Evolutionary history. Reptiles and amphibians split on the evolutionary tree long ago. Amphibians are more ancient in terms of body design and represent the evolutionary bridge between fish and land animals. Reptiles came later and gave rise to dinosaurs, birds, and mammals through separate evolutionary branches. You could say amphibians are Earth's early land pioneers, while reptiles represent a next-level upgrade built for survival in more extreme environments. Number 1. Diversity and adaptation. Reptiles are generally more diverse and better adapted for a variety of ecosystems. They include snakes, turtles, crocodiles, lizards, and even some marine creatures like sea snakes. Amphibians are mostly frogs, toads, salamanders, and newts, and are far more sensitive to environmental changes like pollution and climate shifts. Because amphibians breathe through their skin, they're often seen as environmental indicators. The first two suffer when ecosystems are in trouble. Reptiles, on the other hand, are survivors. Some species have barely changed since the age of dinosaurs. So, while frogs and lizards might look like distant cousins, they're separated by biology, behavior, and habitat in surprising ways. Which one fascinates you more? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe and unleash your wanderlust by watching our latest video. Have a fantastic day!